Okay, it's been a while since we've talked about the baits and bullets. I had a bunch to email, but no one stepped up yet. What about now? Is anybody feeling the same? Let's look at it and take it for. Let's try and just take the politics out of it. Let's see. Take these off and try this. Yeah, yeah. Let's take the politics out and just talk principle. We have a big, I guess you may as well call it some sort of movement, trying to burn the American flag, take them down, replace it with pride, LGBT, XYZ, LMNOP. Anything that goes against God, this country, and your prosperity, they want to get rid of. Forget liberal Democrats, forget right-wing Republicans. Is that really what you want? Where your voice will no longer be heard. It's only drowned out by the crazies. What else can you call them? They're crazy. Trying to take away the core that made this country, while living in this country. If you don't really like this country, why don't you leave it? Go to a country that supports what you say you're after. They don't really want to do that. They want to turn this country into one of those. Now, if you go back and look and research, that goes back to the 16-year plan, where they were going to try and just destroy this country and pretty much a new world order. One global set of people, half a dozen or so, was going to dictate everything in the world. Thank goodness that's been, at least, as they say, thwarted or stopped as of now. But if the threat was there once, the threat's going to be there again. So you really need to do your own research. Quit watching any of the media, because none of them are going to tell you the real plan. Most media are on the same payroll as everyone else. Even liberal Fox, you can't trust them. There's a handful like Lou Dobbs on Fox Business. Lou calls out Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't matter. But there's so many other outlets out there online. You just have to spend time. And a lot of people don't have the time because they work. When they come home, they just flip the TV on, whatever they say they believe. Because that's how it's always went. That's why we're in this position. And it's hard to make time to do your own research. I have more time than most people, but I still have a hard time devoting the time that it really needs to find the real news, the real truth. But I do. I try and put links on my page to share it, where you just click on it, you can get a couple paragraphs of the real information. And most things that you see on like my page that I repost never gets talked about in any of the media, including liberal Fox. So all of these people saying, oh, Fox News is a conservative. No, they're not. When Roger Ailes pretty much created Fox, it was more conservative, more Republican, more right-leaning. He's out. Old man Murdoch's gone. The two boys, Murdoch boys, they're liberals. They tell you they are. And if you watch more and more of their commentators, they're bashing Trump now once Trump helped create Fox into the #1 rated news show. So you can't trust anyone except yourself. And you have to look at the information and research it. For example, Eric Swalwell, about said that wrong. Eric Swalwell, one of the 32 Democrat candidates, his whole platform is to ban guns. ban guns. That's all he ever talks about. The last, I think it was in South Carolina, he had this big rally. 13 people showed up. Probably people he took down with him, but that aside, 13 people listening about banning guns is 13 people too many. We have gun laws. Enforce what we have. You don't need to create more when you don't enforce what you have. That's the problem. If you're an idiot, felon, whatever, you're not entitled to one. That's been the law, that still is the law. What else can you put? You can't shoot a gun on Saturdays. You can only shoot it on Mondays. Stupid stuff. You need to call everyone, and I call him Bitch Mitch McConnell because he's an embarrassment to Kentucky. He's letting everyone in Washington run him money, but he's an embarrassment. I should have got the number and had it ready, but you can call his office, call your, even right here in this Letcher County, call your magistrates, your county judge, your mayors, make your voice heard. If you're not heard now and they take your First Amendment away, you'll never be heard. That'll be your fault. I'm using my First Amendment to try and help you use yours. It doesn't matter politics, forget that. If the Democrats get in control, if you listen to what they say, they're going to take your guns, which means you have no way to defend yourself or protect yourself. When you lose your Second Amendment, you immediately lose your First. As it stands, they can say, sit down and be quiet. And you're like, no, I'm going to talk. You can't make me stop. And that is our right in the Constitution. Nothing in the Constitution says you have the right to free health insurance. Bernie Sanders. I even put the Bill of Rights, the Constitution on my page. Go back and just read it. Type it in yourself. I would suggest not using Google. Google restricts a lot. They don't want you to know because Google is tied into the big six that owns everything, that controls what you need to hear. The internet is free. Well, not so much it's free, you have to pay to have the internet, but information on the internet, there's many places that you can find the news, and it's real and it's truthful. They're just trying to express, same as I am, if you don't use it, you will lose it. Once it's gone, you'll never get it back. Now that's the Democrats' big push. Yeah, the illegals. Okay. Just for a second about that. More and more people are not voting for Democrats. That's why Trump won. He picked up a lot of Democrats, independents. The reason is there is no, well, a lot of people say, my grandpa, my great whatever will turn over in his grave if I switch my party. That party's been gone a long time. Been gone. History. The new Democrat Party is about taking away everything from anyone and everyone and giving it to who they want. To ensure they stay in office or power, they need more votes. Most Democrats that work hard for a living, be it coal mines, drive a truck, sales, whatever, they don't agree with that. They're the ones that gets up, they go out, they work, they want their money. So a Democrat, the older version of a Democrat is supposed to have been to help the workers. The new Democrat is to hurt the workers and give it to people that choose not to work. Look it up for yourself. Ask people in your own family, friends, people you work with, if you're fortunate and have a job. Ask them, are you a true Democrat for the working man? If you are, how can you vote for a Democrat? Because they're against the working man. That's what it's turned into. Sadly, like a lot of the unions. When the unions was really set up, it was to help the workers. Now it's all about the money, the higher-ups. Corruption takes over, and it took over. And I think Trump being elected only helps bring this out more, that more and more people are talking about it. Whether you like Trump or don't is beside the point. The point is he has brought jobs back to the country, which is what this country needs, right? It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. He don't say, well, if you vote for me, you get a job. He wants everyone to have a job because that's what makes this country great. And it is getting better than it has been in the last quite a while. But it takes that. And if it means you switch from this party to that party to make sure you get it, at least you're getting it. And your kids will get it, your grandkids will get it, and so on. Just like everything was handed to you, basically handed, you know what I mean. We had the opportunities because of the past leadership from many, many years ago that wanted America, number one, not sell it away or sell it off and give it away for the 16-year plan. And all you have to do is get on the internet and type 16-year plan, but don't use Google because it will block a lot of those. I use Bing, B-I-N-G, as my browser. They don't really hide anything, good or bad, it's on there. You have a safe mode, a moderate mode, off. You know, you can turn everything off. I would suggest something like that instead of Google if you really want to research. YouTube has made it clear if someone says, you hurt my feelings, that's hateful speech, they ban your channel. So I moved a lot of mine off of that to Vimeo. So far, the Bait Man's still on, but who knows? And I'm in the hills. I reach a handful of people. Can you imagine Trump reaches millions? Elected official reaches hundreds of thousands being banned. Why do you think they're trying to ban it? Because the more we know, the better decisions and choices we can make. I've often been accused of oversimplifying things, but as a parent, most parents will understand. I try and relate it back to what really affects us here, us Kentuckyites. If you know there's a bad guy that moved into the neighborhood, would you try and alert the neighbors to say, hey, rumor has it, I don't know him, but rumor has it? Most people would. All you do is just try and help make it easier where nothing bad happens. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to force one opinion over the other opinion. But if you look at things and read things for yourself and not be told what is right and what's wrong, you will see that you've been lied to quite a lot by most people that were reputable. This just didn't happen. It's happened for years and years and years, but it's being brought out more and more now because of the hatred they have for Trump, because Trump is the tool, the weapon to bring this to the surface that more people talks about. Prior to him running and getting president, everyone, all the liberals, they loved Trump because he was just a millionaire. He was no threat to anyone. But once he got in that position, they're attacking from all sides, and both sides are attacking Republicans as well. Mainly because he's bringing this out into the open. All the child abuse has came out. A lot has been arrested. Look how many priests. It's just so much sickness. And that's what they're afraid of. The ones that want the New World Order, the 16-year plan that tried to destroy us, they're the ones that really hate Trump. Call them deep state, call them outsiders, whatever you want. That's why there's so much hatred towards Trump. And if you listen to the news, you're going to hate him too, and you don't know why you hate him, you just hate him. If you ever listen to any of these people interview these protesters, what don't you like about Trump? He's rich. So how's that hurting? He's got more money than me, I don't like him. They can't tell you why they're mad. They were told, hate Trump. They didn't tell them why. That's what we're facing. That's why the illegals are coming in, on thousands and thousands of them. Even if you just say, I'm going to deport one, a lot of people gets mad because they're afraid they'll lose one vote. One vote might keep them out of office or keep them in office. So there's a lot of reasoning behind all of this craziness that you hear most of the mainstream media telling you. They want you on edge. They want you to not be able to trust your wife, your husband, your children. They know if you have dissension and you can't even sit and talk with your family, they've won. You've lost. That's the reason for all of this. It's so clear and so simple if you look at what's really happening, not just what you're told in 2 or 3 minutes and they get 7 or 8 people all saying the same thing. You tend to believe it because, again, you don't always have the time to devote to read it yourself and understand it. And believe me, I get that. But, you know, if you make time for certain things, you better make time for your own future and your kids' future and your grandkids' future. What you leave, look at what was left of you. We used to have a lot of jobs there because years and years and years ago, both parties tried to work together to have a good economy. Most of us never made great money, but at least you had steady money. That's gone. Nobody wants to work together. Republicans will say, well, we're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. They had 8 years to do it. They didn't even try, and it's still not. They've lied to you. The Democrats, they lied to you to get it pushed on you. They all lie. It would be great if we could completely wipe out everyone in office and start over with new people. Put a term limit on them just like the president. They got 2, 4 years, whatever. If they don't do it, vote them out, start over. Same on the local side. But if you just vote same over, nothing's going to change, and you're going to keep getting what we've been getting. It's like that saying, if you always do what you always done, you always get what you always got. And it's real hard to convince a lot of people that when you walk outside in the daytime, you can see it's called daylight. People don't believe that because they're being told, well, it's only light because the ozone layer is depleting. Craziness. But it all comes back to you, what you want to leave. What kind of legacy? Do you want a sad, disruptive, you can't trust your neighbors anymore? Then keep doing what you're doing. If you want it better, your kids better, you want their lives better, you got to stand up and fight for it. And a lot's going to get either upset, ticked, or really give me them thumbs up in messages. A lot of people you have to blame are the Christian people themselves. Now, just for a minute, let me explain before you start throwing stuff. A lot of the Christian people, preachers, Baptists, deacons, or just congregation will tell you, in the Bible it tells you it's morally wrong for man to sleep with man. But yet they willingly and openly arms accept those people in the church. Well, I know that's a fine line you got to walk. I don't have to walk it. I know how I feel. If you're living by the book, don't you go by the book? You don't deviate from the book? There you go. All can't be blamed on that. But again, in the real news, thousands of Christians are being killed, and the Muslim faith is trying to take over, and it's being allowed. You got 2 of them in office right now, Muslims. Not even people from the United States, which it says you have to be in the United States to be in office. They got around it. Well, so did Barry Hussein, or some calls him Bathhouse Barry. How'd he ever get president? He wasn't an American. Well, there's a big argument over it. Do your research. His own brother has said multiple times they were born in Kenya. Well, if his brother told you that, or the media tells you he wasn't, who do you would put more credit in. Cigarettes and coffee. Wow. All I need to do is just reach over and get my gun, and that'd really tick a bunch off, wouldn't it? But hey, you need to put a lot more thought into it. I think a bunch ought to just sit down and start talking about this. Put it out online. Let everyone be aware of what's going on, what could happen, what may happen. The more you know, the better choice you can make. If you're prepared, you're prepared. And I was going to say a Boy Scout motto, but see, that's changed. They now let girls and boys mix. Do you agree with that? They force girls to accept men in the bathrooms. Do you agree with that? If you go back and look, I don't think there's Republican one ever asked for that. It was the other side. How sick and twisted do you have to be? 50-year-old man can wake up and say, I think I'm a woman today. And in a lot of parts of the country, if he wants to go to that bathroom and they tell him no, he can sue them and actually win because they hurt his feelings. Even though he's a man, they hurt his feelings because he felt like a woman. Now that's some sad. Now we'll talk off camera about that, and you might need to wear earplugs and bring a dictionary because some of the words that I'll use will embarrass a ship full of sailors. You got an 8-year-old girl. She's in McDonald's bathroom. And you see a 6-foot guy walk in, beard down to his knees, wearing a dress. Are you going to sit there? Are you going to welcome him in with open arms around your 8-year-old daughter? Anyway, do your own research. Follow some of them links that I put on there. Tell everybody you know to do it. The more you know, the more you will understand. And it should help you make more informed decisions about what current life you have left and what you're going to leave. I want to, well, it's like that, the old sportsman adage, leave it better than it was when you found it. If you hike, you go in the woods and you see garbage, pick it up and bring it out. If you're fishing and you see stuff laying on the bank, pick it up, the trash that someone else left, and bring it out with you. That's being a good steward, making it better than it was when you left. Well, if you do that out in the wilderness, why don't you do it for your own family? It don't take 2 minutes. But it takes more time to be more self-informed because you have to devote time to find out what's really going on. But if you don't, and you lose all these opportunities, and you lose what made this country so great to begin with, it's your fault. And whoever your legacy's handed down to is going to blame you for letting it happen and allowing it to happen. I want to be known as a fighter for it. I want to save it. I want it good. I want this country better than it was when I came. And the only way that is, you have to try and get more people talking. And as bad as it is with politics, you have to get more honesty in it. They say transparency. They say one thing, but then they don't always show you that. Transparency is supposed to be like looking in glass, okay? I've got a purple living room suit. In order to prove that, you should be able to stand and look through my window and see it. That's transparency. Not me telling you I got a purple living room suit, but I keep my blind shut that you can't see it. That's what we've been used to. Demand to see it. In all aspects. Even here locally. If you start locally, it will spread to state and then eventually federal. And if everyone does this simultaneously, it's going to get better because it can't get worse. I just wanted to mention a little bit about the baits and bullets. I'm still game, as y'all can tell. I don't mind hearing myself talk. My animals don't. Right now, they're all laying here asleep because I've got such a soothing voice with them. You want to get together and do something? Message me. A lot of people don't really publicly comment because they don't want to hurt their spouse's feeling or their boss or whatever. You know, a lot of people's told me, if you keep doing this, it's going to hurt your business. If me telling you what's right and what's wrong with this place, and you don't come patronize my business, you were no customer to start with. You're going to buy bait if you're going to fish. Whether you like me or not, I've got good bait. If you're going to fish, you're going to buy it. If you don't, you're not a customer. And if you are a customer, loyal and all of this diehards, which I could probably count them all on one hand and utilize 3 fingers doing something else. But if you are a customer and you get offended or get mad with what I say, you got to ask yourself, why are you mad? I'm not mad. I appreciate your business. I need your business. So why are you so mad if what you're hearing is the truth? And by staying silent and getting a little bit of money, that's not helping anything. Even though financially it helps me and bills and all this kind of stuff. But the big picture, it doesn't help. We're still going down that same dead end road. At least I can say, I tried. I can't make you do it, but I can say, I told you, I recommended it, I suggested it. But you know, whatever you do is on your shoulders. It's not like, oh, I didn't know there was other places to find out about news. Yeah, they are, because I just told you quite a few times. Daily Caller, the Gateway Pundit. Those are 2 really, really good ones. It doesn't matter what the news is, good or bad, pro-Trump, hate Trump, anti-Trump. It's on there. Read it all. But you will find the majority of the stuff is all good for you, not a particular party. That's what I go for, is the truth. Okay, Trump cheated on his taxes. Who's surprised? Who's surprised? And the ones that surprised and says he ought to be impeached for it, ask yourself this. Most of the Congress gets like $174,000 a year salary. They've been in office 5 years. But their financial says they're a multimillionaire. You make $175,000, which is not even $250,000. You've been in office, well, just say 4 years, and you're already a multimillionaire. How do you do that? I'd like to know. Holler at us.